Canadiens are proud to select Ivan Demidov.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of the Curfew Boys podcast, the family edition. Myself, Sammy, with my cousin, Chris. Hey now. It's going to be that kind of episode after a Montreal Canadiens loss versus the Detroit Red Wings on Thursday night, January 23rd. Before we get into it, listen, thank you all for tuning in to this new episode on YouTube. Please like and subscribe and share this with your friends, with your fellow Habs fans, friends, near and far. It'll only make us feel the love and come join this great Habs community that we're trying to build. Episodes available audio format on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You can follow us there on our social media platforms, Instagram, X, or Twitter, whichever you want to call it. TikTok still exists. And there you have it. Chris, how are you doing after what's been a bit of an up and down emotional roller coaster ride, like always with this team, in a good way and in a not so good way since Saturday. So give or take 3 games within the week since Saturday. That crazy loss against Toronto, then that crazy win against Tampa Bay, and now back to a loss in regulation versus the Detroit Red Wings. There's we have a good debate going on. We're going to have a good debate going on this episode because I don't want to call this a controversy. I'm not going to go there. But there's an actual goaltender debate for probably the first time this season. Compared to last season, we had a three, however you want to call it. We had a threesome goalie debate. I have no idea what other way to express it. But
we had a ménage à trois goalie, and we have a master debate goalie-wise this year.
Those are the best innuendos ever to discuss goaltenders. But it's true, though, because I think for a while now it was like, Caden Primo just unfortunately couldn't get the job done as a backup. Send him down, bring up Jakub Dobes. Y'all know what the rest is after that. But for that entire season, it's like, well, shit, we're going to have to make Sam Montembeault play most of the games. Then you have Jakub Dobes playing the way he's playing. He's winning games. He's 5-0 in his first 5 NHL games. And suddenly the questions are being asked. You look at Dobes' numbers, and then you look at Sam Montembeault's numbers. One would think, keep riding the hot goalie, or
riding the hot.
Keep
goalie.
riding the hot goalie.
We're freaking going all out here.
There's no way this was planned. By the way, this was not even scripted. You can't even write this shit. But all jokes aside, I think the way Sam Montembeault lost against the Leafs on Saturday, and then then they ended up winning on Sunday. Jakub Dobes goes back in nets. Then the question was asked, do they put Sam Montembeault, do they put Jakub Dobes Tuesday against Tampa Bay Lightning? I had forgot to mention that other crazy win against the New York Rangers on the Sunday. And it wasn't Jakub Dobes' best game, but he made the key saves in overtime when he had to. And that led to the win. So I thought Sam Montembeault played a great game on Tuesday against Tampa Bay. I thought he made key saves that kept this team alive. I actually thought he should have been first star, but they gave it to Jake Evans, and Jake Evans scoring the game winner. I thought he deserved it too. But at one point, I thought Marty was going to kind of go with the play one goalie one game, play the other goalie the next game, so on and so forth, and repeat. But it wasn't the case. It wasn't the case Tuesday, and it wasn't the case tonight. Montembeault won the game Tuesday. Now he plays Thursday night against Detroit. It's not a good result for not just him, but I would say the entire team. Like, I don't want to fully blame. We could say the game against Toronto, like he let in some of these Swiss cheese goals. It looks like he couldn't stop a beach ball. Tonight wasn't that bad, all things considered. He faced how many freaking shots did he
45,
face?
I think 45 or 46 by the end of it all.
40. Yeah, so there you go. 45. So he made 41 saves though. Like,
You want to know what I have to jump in on this because there's only so much my tongue is now deviating and dodging the teeth that are trying to bite it down and impede me from talking. But at this point in time, I have to say the biggest issue that I currently have with Sam Montembeault is he doesn't have any consistency. And as much as tonight, so consistency, he can play like an absolute star in this league on certain nights. And then, the next game or following games, he can play like a very, very average goaltender. So the consistency is not there. That's number one. The other thing, too, is as much as he faced 44 shots, Sam Montembeault had let in 4 goals in less than 20 shots, I believe, tonight. And in that sense, I'll go a step further and say Sam Montembeault made a spectacular save in the third period. It was 2 spectacular saves, and then the puck went off the post.
mm-hmm.
And I think like one of the ways that I see Montembeault is he is this goalie who's going to make this outstanding save. He might shift momentum and keep the Canadiens' energy very high. So keeps energy very high, motivates the guys with spectacular saves. But unfortunately, he doesn't cool the game down. Like I feel as though Jakub Dobes calms the game down, gives a reassuring feeling. And number 2 is that Montembeault, I'm sorry to say, but there's like too much damage done by the time, 1 or 2 great saves in a game doesn't undo 2 to 3 to even 4 bad goals. So at the end of the day, it's not about spectacular saves. I want a boring goalie in the net who's just going to be reassuring for the team, who lets them play their game. And unfortunately, there are nights where Sam Montembeault is dialed in, he tracks the puck well, and then there are other nights where he seems out of sorts.
Yeah, tonight, or the game against the Red Wings, it felt like he had some difficult time tracking the puck. The first goal, I'll give it to him. I think he was screened by Mike Matheson, I want to believe.
Yeah.
The shorthanded goal, it's a 50-50 chance, right? But usually on a breakaway, your goalie is pretty much that last line of defense, right? So but all that to say, the power play tonight was just awful. It was just awful. The power play on the versus the Red Wings was just god awful. Just they couldn't get anything done. So you take away that shorthanded goal. I thought Larkin's goal was weak. It's not just it's something that goalies do that for the life of me I can't fully understand. I'm not a goaltender. I've never played goalie, especially on the ice. I was a goalie at street hockey as a kid, but that was like centuries ago. But I don't understand why goalies, like especially that it was off of his left foot. The puck was like being hit off of his left toe and his left pad, and he's a left-handed glove. I don't understand why some of these goalies, they don't just try to like pounce on the puck. So on that play, like I really felt it was like I'm pretty sure he thought he had it. Well, not that he had it, like he was going to get it again, one more shot in his glove or something. But I don't know why he just didn't pounce on that particular play. So if you take that goal away, we're tied at 2, or maybe momentum is completely different. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe the Canadiens take a 2-1 lead or something. I don't know. I just felt like those 2 goals were. I said, the shorthanded one, it's like it's a team effort thing, but like you want your goalie to make that save, and then that Larkin goal, I really, more than anything, I thought that Larkin goal he should have had a glove pounce on that to freeze it.
The Larkin goal he should have pounced on and frozen it. I'm 100% in agreement. The breakaway goal shorthanded, okay, 50-50 chance. You save it or you don't save it. You want to maybe say 33% chance the guy misses. So there's that option. But at the end of the day, there's also the goal from DeBrincat. And pardon me for saying this, but he was cheating for the cross ice pass, and he made himself completely
he lost.
vulnerable.
And the worst part is it was like what, there was 3 seconds left on the clock. Like
Exactly.
those final second of the period goals that I call it, those are killer. Like, again, you know what? Fuck, add that one to the list. You take that one. If that goal never happens, it's a completely game. Like, you know what? We could argue, or Habs fans tonight can argue that, well, they didn't really have. Those were like very lucky goals for the Red Wings, sure, but it's like sometimes, man, you create your own luck. And I really thought the Canadiens against the Red Wings created their unfortunate bad luck. I really thought I don't think they didn't fully show up. I don't know.
They didn't show up ready to play. They were getting out. I think they got outshot like 17-4, 17-5 in the first period, which is horrendous. That's a telltale sign that the team doesn't, is not ready to go in the first. I thought they got pushed to the outside quite a bit. And I mean, barring look, the 2 goals where they were good plays, like Laine made a spectacular play to get the puck in, get open space. That was great. But all in all, like, the Canadiens worked very hard for their goals, and good on them for at least not getting shut out. But man, they really did not show up to play. And again, by the time that Montembeault started really saving the shots that he needed to save, well, there are already 4 in the net behind you. So,
and it's tough to come back for sure.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Like, I thought Lane Hudson struggled tonight. I thought Mike Matheson, there was that one shift where, like, they just couldn't get it out of the fucking zone, and Mike Matheson got angry, started cross-checking guys and stuff. That Lane Hudson interference penalty, that's a bit of a momentum killer. Slavkovsky taking a high stick. But you know what? That high stick, I don't know if it was on Sherrod or whoever it was, but the league needs to look into this. And this is something it's a question I'm going to throw out to everybody if they want to comment on this. But, like, when a player's bent forward and practically leaning halfway forward, and the other player's like, he's trying to get his stick up and move about, and hits him in the face, like, by the rule book right now, it's high sticking. But, like, if the player's like leaning forward, I know this looks bad right now on screen, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna disagree with you on that, simply because, again, you're a pro athlete. I know, like, if the guy's on the ground, if the guy's like a foot off the ground and he gets whacked in the face with the stick, like, your stick is naturally about a foot off the ground. But I do think the players have to have a certain control. They already have it so that if there's any follow through or anything. Unfortunately, Slavkovsky got the stick up. Yeah, he was bending forward, so he hit him in the face sooner than you would, or perhaps he might have not even hit him in the face. But I think it's just an unfortunate thing. But it keeps the guys accountable to, what you always hear kids, keep your stick down. Like, it sounds stupid,
but then there's sometimes they don't call high sticking because it's a follow through of, like, a shot or try to dump the puck.
That I don't.
You know
mind.
what I mean?
I don't mind, but, like, if you don't have the puck and you, like, randomly throw your arms up in the stick. Anyways, so far I'm in agreement with the league, but man,
I don't know. Maybe I'm just saying. Well, one, I'm tired. Two, I'm just like frustrated that when that play happened, I was like, I was put my fucking hands up in the air, and I'm like, yeah, okay, it's done. Not that I thought they were gonna come back during that time when they pulled the goalie, but, like, you want to see one more goal. You want to see maybe 2-3 of your favorite players get a point. But here's another thing I want to mention, though. I really, like, there's no denying that we all jumped on the hype train. The Canadiens are 13. They're like 13 now, 13-4-1. in like in the month, or like even going into end of December. But one thing I've noticed is that a lot of these wins, and as great as they are, and as much as it pumps us and gets us going, like not a lot of these wins they had the first lead. You get what
The
I'm saying?
comeback kids. Yeah,
They
they've been coming
really,
back a ton.
they really are the comeback kids. And I'm trying to look back at least in the month of January. I like I have the, like, you know what I mean, the win against Vancouver. Like, yeah, Cole scored the first goal, but then they were down 3-1 at one point. You know, the one against Washington. Like it was, again, it went in overtime, but they had a 2-1. They had a 2-1 lead, and they kind of blew it. But that's okay. They kind of had a lead. Um, the one against the first game against Dallas, yeah, they lost in shootout, so that's fine. The game against Utah, they were down 2-1 at one point, and then it was, they kept the lead at 3-2. Actually, the game against Utah, that's a great win. The one against Dallas, again, they were down 1-0, and they had to fight for that. The game against the Leafs, well, we don't need to talk about that. The game against the Rangers, that one too, they were down 2-1 and then 3-2 at one point, and that game they really, really fought back.
They never had a lead that game, in fact.
No, exactly. So, and then the game against Tampa Bay, well, they were down 2-0. So, believe me when I say this, I love seeing them come back and fight for that win, for those 2 points. I really do. There's no denying. I'm not taking that away from them. This is part of the process that we were hoping to see. But right now, for me to 110% be convinced that this is an actual playoff team, is that they need to get the first goal most often than not. And even if the other team ties it, they have to learn how to get the lead back and then keep it that way. Right now, they haven't been showing that quite often. So, you know what I mean? Like, I'm extremely happy with the way they've been winning the games lately. But am I 100% satisfied? No, because I want to see them grab the lead first and keep it. I think that's going to be the next step between determining whether this team can fight for a playoff spot like they are now, or actually be within a playoff spot.
Yeah. There are there are two different perspectives that I have on this matter. I also don't think that they've been holding leads very well. The only tendency, and we're going to say, well, what the hell? People are going to start thinking that I'm just here to hate on the guy. But when we haven't been able to hold the lead, well, go figure. It's pretty much been Jakub Dobes, not Jakub Dobes. It's been Sam Montembeault who's been very shaky in holding leads. And I find that with Dobes, the guy's been letting in one goal, and then the team has been rallying really behind him. I think RDS even showed a stat tonight, like the average goals per game scored with each respective goalie that played for the Canadiens, including Caden Primo. Caden Primo, I think, had the most goals per game scored when he was in nets.
Yeah.
Then Jakub Dobes had the second, and I think Sam Montembeault had, like, the players in front of him were scoring an average of 2.89 goals a game when he was there. But 2.89 goals, you would have given something like that to Carey Price. He would have held the fort 9 times out of 10. And again, I will say, like, I'm in agreement. That's the link between the next step, or that is simply put the next step to being a playoff team and a more serious team within the league. A lot of young, I don't want to say nervousness, but they're far too often just like 5 minutes out of the gate, like, what's going on? And that's, I don't know if they're burnt out. Like, don't get me wrong, it's been a long month of January. It's been a lot of traveling. It might be catching up to them. Everybody's going to say they're pro athletes. That's their duty to be able to withhold and withstand that type of schedule.
No,
but
they have no idea the physical and mental grind these players go through. They have no
I'm
idea.
sure of it.
You raise a very good point. It's actually it's a concern of mine, and I can't wait for Emil Heineman to come back. And the reason why I say that is because Marty's been double shifting guys like Nick Suzuki, guys like Jake Evans. You know, who else? Who else does he sometimes double
Well,
shift on that
Caulfield
fourth line?
gets tossed on
You
there.
know what I mean? So I'm a bit concerned that because Marty's not going to let Michael Pezzetta play. They called up Owen Beck. He played the 2 games. He started on the fourth line, and as the games got more important, more serious, like really time to battle it out and maintain or fight for maintain a lead or fight to tie it up. I think that type of responsibility is too much to put on a rookie like that, who's clearly not yet ready. Don't get me wrong. Happy to see the kid get called up. I think he deserved it, just the way he's been playing Laval. But you put a natural centerman on the left side. You know what I mean? You're not going to see much from him, especially where the team's at right now in the standings, how they're fighting for that wild card spot. Like, the best thing after that was send Owen Beck back down, which they did. But I mean, you're not going to let Michael Pezzetta play more than 5 minutes a game. You're going to double shift these players. My concern is actually that fatigue might start catching up to them if that keeps happening. So we need Emil Heineman to come back ASAP.
I definitely think that fatigue is going to start playing in, and I also think it's a very big testament to Heineman. He really brought a whole other dynamic to the game. He brought
truly
so
did.
much speed, forechecking.
Yep.
He was on the power play, whether you realize it or not. Like, he really, really changed the dynamic of this team significantly. So, I mean, get well soon. What a fucking stupid freak type of accident.
I don't get it. The one time this year where like we have a healthy team ish once Line came back. And freak, I don't get it. I don't understand like why players, not just in this team, but in this franchise, you have Joshua Roy injured now 4 to 6 weeks, was named to the AHL All-Star game. Now he's going to miss that. You have Emil Heineman, who gets hit by a fucking car in Utah, out of all states. There's not one car a night that roams the streets. So, yeah, no, they no, absolutely. He actually does bring a different dynamic on that fourth line. He actually brings toughness. Like, he's he's not a tough player, but he's strong. He skates well, and he hits up against the boards.
Well, you're pretty much saying everything. If you say define Emil Heineman in one word, forechecking.
Yeah,
he is a fantastic so it encompasses the hits, it encompasses the forechecking, it encompasses the speed. You know, defensemen have to make quicker decisions on the opposing team over and over. Like, just I'm sorry to say, but Michael Pezzetta at the very best is going to throw a good hit here or there, but oftentimes he's, again, I can't throw enough love at the human being, the individual, and, you know, have that respect for him. But he's chasing the game out there. It's sad.
I feel bad for him, to be 100% honest with you. But look, I mean, I'm not in panic mode. We're not in panic mode. Like, not even close. I mean, if you think about it, the Canadiens are, Jesus. Let's just look at the past week. It's actually been a week. They're 1, 2, 3. Okay, they're 3-2. But if you had the win against Utah, they're 4-2. So it's not that bad. All things considered. The funny thing about this schedule, the month of January, is they beat all these strong teams except for Toronto, yet they lose to lesser teams than they are. You lose to Chicago, and then you lose to Detroit by the same score, 4-2. It's like, man,
how does that?
Yeah, I know. Okay, you know what? I'm going to say this, so there's no choice. They got to put Jakub Dobes in net. They got to put him against New Jersey. They have to.
Can I ask you? Do you feel that Marty avoided playing Dobes tonight to start any sort of goalie, in brackets, controversy?
So, I don't know. I don't think so. I really thought Marty put in my thought process. And again, we're all just speculating. Chances are we're wrong, but let's have some fun with this. My thought process was Marty put Sam Montembeault Tuesday nights against Tampa Bay as a chance to redeem himself after the loss against the Maple Leafs last Saturday. This was a chance for him to redeem himself against still a stronger opponent in the same division, and he fulfilled that. Sam Montembeault was solid. I thought he was solid against Tampa Bay. He made big saves. If it weren't for those saves, they would have lost. But having said that, to me, I really think we're talking about fatigue here. It's you have I really like we're so well balanced now. Finally, as far as goaltenders are concerned, why not give them one game on, one game off, one game on? Like, why not? Why not try that? Do we really have? Is it really that much to lose? Is there really like? Is there that much of a difference in caliber goaltending? Like Dobes is fantastic so far. He's 5-0, but like, but you still have Sam Montembeault, like you said. If he's dialed in, he's gonna help you win. I don't know. I really feel like they have it. It could be it could be a perfect formula or something.
I think so too. I genuinely like on my side of things. I'm going to add another layer to what you said. So it was an opportunity for Sam to, come back and showcase what he, redeem himself.
Yeah,
really
pretty much.
on Tuesday
In front of John Cooper too,
in
who's the
front
coach
of
of
John
team.
Cooper. Exactly.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
in a certain sense, maybe even a class move by Marty. But the other thing that I will add to is, in all fairness, it was Sam Montembeault in December, right before the new year, that was in net against Tampa Bay when they won. So he
Yeah,
won last
exactly.
time. Why not give him another opportunity? I could understand that. But tonight, I was borderline wanting to yell at my TV when we knew a few hours in advance. So I mean, I'm just for the
Yeah,
showmanship of it all.
yeah.
Like I was pissed off. There were a lot of bad goals, and whether you like it or not, there's just another element. You have certain fans who are arguing that, well, Sam proved himself and therefore he deserves his shot. Well, okay, fine, yeah, he deserves to have maybe more patience on Marty's behalf and get more opportunities. Fine, but you also have a kid who has yet to lose, and you're playing against, like, you put Sam in. He played a very very dominant game. Why not give him a chance to rest up? Again, I think we're comfortable in saying he's not a Carey Price. He's not going to be playing 72 games in a season.
No, no,
And
exactly.
and you have another goalie who's not, like, he's shown no signs of losing games. He's actually not lost it. Again, he's not lost any games. So why not give him a chance? And the other element too is, like, why I'm so convinced that this is to avoid any controversy is if Dobes comes in today and wins today, then there's a legitimate argument as to who deserves to play in net on Saturday. And let's walk this through. Dobes comes in, so Sam plays on Tuesday, wins. Dobes comes in, he plays an outstanding game and wins. People are going to start immediately saying, well, maybe Dobes should get the start. Maybe. Now he gets the start, and it's like, okay, no, rightfully so. He deserves his shot. Sam didn't play the best game. He should go in. But had Dobes played, and had he played well, had he won another game, I think there are a lot more voices throughout the city of Montreal and surrounding provinces and countries even that are going to be arguing for Dobes to be playing.
Chris, if he wins Saturday at the Bell Center against the New Jersey Devils, Jakub Dobes, I'm predicting that he's going to play Saturday against the Devils.
He better. Chris, if we have a Marty controversy if he doesn't play.
But if he wins, I think you're still going to have that conversation.
But Marty delayed it by a game. That's the only argument that he has. He pushed it off.
So, okay.
He gave Sam the chance. That's
for
all
sure.
I'm saying.
I'm not saying, and again, I agree with you. We're not saying that Montembeault doesn't deserve that chance. But right now, I don't know. If you want to look at numbers, like Jakub Dobes' numbers are fantastic.
Yeah.
They're fantastic. And I like Sam Montembeault, but his save percentage is below 900.
Yeah.
It's not good enough.
Playing like
It's
Andre
it's it's
Racicot.
it's it's not good enough. If Dobes wins Saturday against the Devils, do you play him Tuesday night against the Winnipeg Jets
I would.
at
Yeah,
home?
and that's the other thing that fucking pisses me off. You know, against the Winnipeg Jets, Dobish has had all the fucking hardest games, essentially, other than the Tampa game. He's the one who beat all the fucking best teams. I would automatically say, yeah, absolutely, Dobish. And the other thing about Dobish is he's throwing a fucking wrench into the game plan of a lot of other teams. Maybe it's just because it's early on in his career and it's very hard to scout the guy and say, okay, what's his weakness? What's what? But teams have not, like, especially the other teams, they haven't fucking figured out Jakub Dobes whatsoever.
No, they haven't.
So
He plays big. He plays fucking big.
he is big and he plays big.
Look, man, I don't know. I would give Dobes. Listen, let's, for argument's sake, I would say, look, they gave Montembeault the past 2 games. Why not give Dobes the next 2 games against the Devils and then against the Jets on Tuesday? And you could give, no matter what those results are, give Monty next week's game, next Thursday against the Wild to end off the month of January.
Yeah,
at the Bell Center. Why? I don't know. I that's what I want to see. Because
if that happens, I'm telling you, money on the table. I'm looking for cash now as we speak. I don't think I have any, but money on the table. If that happens, listen to the BPMs, listen to TSN 690, watch the comments on the on Facebook for TSN 690 or whatever. They are going to be raining in. There are a lot of people, and that's the other thing too. There are a lot of people who are saying, "Oh, taking an opportunity to shit on a to shit on a Quebec-based player in Sam Montembeault." I think I speak on behalf of every single one of us who does this podcast. I would love to see Sam Montembeault perform, and it's not because he's a Quebecer that I'm ready to shit on him that much more. Not at all, because why don't we talk about Mike Matheson? How many times have we said Mike Matheson has had bad games? This is not a question of our guts ici, a French Canadian. This is, I want to fucking win. I want to have the taste of the playoffs for these young guys for the first time in too many years. And if that's going to be the case, I want to go with the guy in net who's going to give us the best chance, and I genuinely don't feel that. So whatever the controversy comes, I hope Jakub Dobes ends up playing the next 2 games. And you know what? If that's going to be the cost to figuring out whether or not Jakub Dobes deserves that chance, so be it. But fuck, it's about time to figure it out. I feel as though Sam has been given the benefit of the doubt maybe a little bit too much recently. When Dobes, we're all here scratching our head and wondering why the fuck is the guy with a perfect, flawless record and insane statistics to start his career, why is that guy on the bench?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It's we want consistency. I think at the end of the day, that's I know that's what I want, and I'm pretty sure that's exactly what everybody wants. Did you see though the Devils? What happened to Jacob Markstrom?
Yeah, he's out. So it's
He's out.
It's
He's
basically
out. So
Jake Allen.
I don't know. He'll miss some time. They said. I don't know what exactly. I'm looking this up right now as we speak. That means it's most likely Jake Allen that's going to be taking over the reins. And remember that trade.
The clause. There's a clause about how much he has to play.
If he plays 45 games, I think the pick goes, I don't have the details in front of me, but I think the pick goes from a 3rd round pick to a 2nd round pick. Actually, I'm actually gonna look this up real quick here. But yeah, that was part of the clause. So things are gonna get interesting. Now the question I'm gonna have now for New Jersey is, do they try to trade for a goaltender? That's what I'm wondering now. Hold on a
That's going to
sec.
be tough for them. I genuinely think that's going to be a little bit on the tougher side for them.
Yeah. So here's it's a third. So Montreal will receive New Jersey's second round pick in 2025 if Allen plays in at least 40 regular season games,
Oh, God.
and if the club that Allen is a member of qualifies for the 2025 playoffs. Otherwise, Montreal will receive New Jersey's 2025 third round pick in 2025. And right now, at this very moment, I believe Jake Allen has played, I think he's played 15 games. Hold on a sec. I should get the stats.
He's got a lot to go.
He's got 15 games. Oh, he's got 25 games. Dude, it's actually possible.
It is possible.
It's very possible. Oh my god, dude! Can you imagine? And I feel bad for Jacob Markstrom, but like, can you imagine we get away with a second round pick?
Okay.
Hey.
Like we are way too early on to have this talk, but I will just say it's going to be time. Like with what you just said, whether it's a third, whether it turns into a second round pick or not, we have a lot of picks. Like I'm already formulating figure like a kid coming up to Christmas, starting to make their wish list, starting to try to foresee what the team is going to be, and realistically salary cap. What means do we have? What's this? What's that? I have one realistic and optimistic guy that we'd like to go get. Maybe take this opportunity to talk what's going on around the league. There's one guy that I want on this roster. He would be in the bottom 6. And if they have to overpay and maybe give up a second round pick along with one of perhaps our defensive prospects, because we have a plethora of them.
Hold on. A centerman?
Yeah, he could play at center.
He could, but is he an actual centerman?
I think he's currently playing center.
Is he in the East or in the West?
East.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I gotta check if he's playing. One second. Before I might be throwing you off. Let me just check if he's playing with them.
Is he a Stanley Cup champion?
No.
No.
And he's not. And he's playing more wing actually right now. I've seen him at center.
But he's in the East.
He's in the East. He's on a pretty hot team right now.
Oh damn! I thought you were going for either Ryan O'Reilly or Yanni Gord.
Ryan O'Reilly would be a beautiful replacement for Dvorak, but that's not who. That's genuinely not who I have. I have one guy in mind. He is like the top tier, realistic guy that we could go get. With
give me the name of the team. Which team does he play for?
Okay, he just played against Toronto, and what happened against Toronto was shown on a lot of different hockey clips that had nothing to do with hockey. Well, yeah, it had to do with hockey. I'm speaking in fucking riddles here. He's a tougher guy. He's a pretty tough guy.
Oh, Mathieu Olivier. Yeah, no, Columbus is never gonna fucking.
Yeah,
let
but
him
would
go.
you? I am ready.
Of course, I take Mathieu Olivier to replace Yoel Armia if he doesn't come back.
Exactly. That's. I went through the exercise this morning. I know we're getting way off topic of a post-game analysis, but I just want to run something by you. Do you and maybe start by asking a quick question? Mm-hmm. Do you think we have the majority of the pieces already within the Montreal Canadiens system for a long playoff run within the next few years?
Already in the system? Yes. I think so, but I think as far as the players they've drafted, or if the Marc Bergevin management drafted that they might keep, yes, so far I really think we do. But I do think that they're gonna, when the time comes to replace a Yoel Armia, a Christian Dvorak, and then like add in a David Savard, and then further down the line a Mike Matheson, a Brendan Gallagher, and a Josh Anderson, the pro scouts is going to have to look at who to bring in as veterans that are still young enough to compete with the young players we have now on this roster. Example, an Alexandre Carrier type of trade.
There you go.
That's the type of trade that they're gonna do. If ever this management, Kent Hughes, Jeff Gordon, were to make, and they're not gonna deviate from whatever the plan is. Right now, I truly believe they're gonna live and die with this roster they have. If they make a wild card spot, fantastic. They're gonna be happy with it. If they don't, if they miss it by a little bit or by a couple of points, you know what? I don't even think they'll be disappointed. I think they're gonna be happy with the progression we saw within the last month and a half. And then who knows? We still got February, March, and a bit of April to go through. Who knows what's going to happen then? Yep. But they're not going to deviate from that plan. But I really believe they know. They're not stupid. They know that they're going to need a veteran or two, one on four, maybe one or two amongst the forwards, one amongst the defensemen. Guys like Caden Gooley and Arbor Jackeye, they're gonna be like 5 years experience now, 5-6 years. Now they're really going to come to their own. But you're still going to have a young David Reinbacher, maybe a young Logan Mailloux, not young, but like young in terms of NHL experience. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, but on the overall, listen, I really think right now they're just waiting to see. Habs fans in general, we're all waiting for, three players. The top three we're waiting for.
Demidov?
I'm going to start at number 3. Number 3, Hage. Yep. Number 2, Fowler. And number 1, Ivan Demidov, who's KHL Rookie of the Week again, scoring more fucking highlight goals than you could ever dream of. Like we're like Habs fans next year, we're going to be excited to see Ivan Demidov with the Canadiens. We're going to be excited to see Jacob Fowler being the number 1 goaltender, the Laval Rocket, to start his pro career. Then we're going to wait and see what's going to happen with Michael Hage, probably playing his final year of college.
And dominating the World Junior Championship, hopefully.
He's for sure going to get, for sure. If they neglect him one more time, there's going to be an outrage. And then you hope for a healthy David Reinbacher. You hope for a Logan Mailloux fighting for a spot on the Canadiens. You hope for maybe Owen Beck. Maybe. We'll see. But I think we have the pieces, yes.
And the reason why I asked you that, and we deviated basically from this New Jersey potential pick that becomes a second-round pick, I think we are going to have to trade away picks. Mm-hmm. And in going down that path of, just listening to hockey news and other takes from other people, starting to hear, we want to make an offer for Rantanen. We want to make an offer for, these Zegras again. And like, it really hit me this morning. Not only are we going to be able to fit, I think we'll be able to fit everybody in cap-wise, especially with the cap going up. There are also going to be contracts going away. We also have the pieces. At the end of the day, with, like you said, Demidov coming in, with Hage eventually coming in, you're going to have Beck, you're going to have probably Kapanen, Luke Tuck, Florian Jackeye, Joshua Roy is probably going to come up with the Canadiens. If you still have Jake Evans, that's your bottom 6 right there. Mm-hmm. But you need a veteran, and that's why I'm like, the top 6 is a lock. Let's be honest here: Slavkovsky, Suzuki, Caulfield, Laine, Duck, and Demidov. Unless Laine is not going to be staying here, but it seems as though he's in love with the city. The city is in love with him. I don't see him going anywhere. So where does that leave us, realistically speaking? We have our defensive prospects. We have our goalie prospects. We have our top 6. There's only a little bit room on the bottom 6. So realistically speaking, folks, we have a bunch of draft picks. If we have to pay to go get a guy like Mathieu Olivier who can alleviate, a game like tonight against Detroit, to bring it back to the post-game analysis, it was a physical game against Detroit. Arbor Jackeye is not going to always be able to fight. I really love Mathieu Olivier for his penalty killing ability and everything. That's why number 1 on my list before a fucking Rantanen. I know how ridiculous that sounds, but before Rantanen, the number 1 guy that I would like to have on this Montreal Canadiens team, if I was to give an assignment to Jeff Gordon and Kent Hughes, I would pray and wish and ask them, implore them to go try to get Olivier, even if it means overpaying with extra draft picks. He's a freak.
He's a fucking freak, that guy. Yeah. He's a fucking freak. He's an animal. He's an animal. He could take punches to the face. He's not even going to nudge. He's not going to move. Of course, I would love to. I really don't think Columbus is going to let him walk or let him go away that easily. because I think he's a UFA. Was he a UFA or RF? I just think he's a free agent at the end of the season. They're not going to let him walk. They're going to need a guy like him to protect Adam Fantilli. They're going to need him to protect Caden Lindstrom when he comes in, hopefully next season or the one after. But yeah, but I totally agree with you. If it's not him, it's got to be somebody like him. But right now, is there somebody like that in the league? That's what we have pro scouts for. They get paid. They get paid that money to find that.
And the crazy thing, I'm just going to add this we keep talking about David Savard maybe not being with the Canadiens. I think he's like a forward version. I think he would be kind of a forward version of a David Savard in terms of veteran presence, leadership.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. But I just think David Savard has quite a few more years experience, and he's got the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
He's got the Stanley Cup ring, even though it was a bit of a weird, different season. It was during those COVID seasons, but absolutely no, I think so.
You know how much Olivier is making, by the way?
I don't have it. I don't have his cap
contract ends this year. He's making 1.1 million per year.
Yeah, he's gonna ask for
2.5.
I think it's a bit of the same debate like Jake Evans. Maybe Jake Evans got a bit more value because he's a centerman, plays on the penalty kill. He's one of the best ones of the league. Let's be honest here. Not to sound too biased, but it's gonna be interesting. I look forward to seeing that. I look forward to seeing Saturday's game, man, against the Devils. That's gonna be interesting. I wonder if Marty's gonna reveal his goaltending lineup or his lineup in general tomorrow, which is Friday, or if he's going to reveal it Saturday morning. I'm not nobody knows, so time will tell. One last thing, congratulations to Brendan Gallagher, reached a new milestone, 800 NHL games with the same team, with the Montreal Canadiens, but also shout out to Christian Dvorak and Patrick Laine, milestones 500 NHL games, and all three of them got a point against the Detroit Red Wings. Gallagher got an assist, Dvorak got an assist, and Lane Hudson got an assist. I'm sure if you were to ask them, they would rather have the win, but nonetheless, Brendan Gallagher, though, listen, I don't give a shit what Joey says on this podcast. You gotta. I truly don't. I never listened to Joey to begin with. I'm not gonna listen to him now. if ever he's listening to this episode, but Brendan Gallagher is who he is, and he's where he's at just because of pure hard work, dedication, and just fucking he's been playing for that logo on his chest since game number 1 of his career, and nothing has changed except he's just getting older. Sure, he may be getting slower, but the heart is still there. The heart is still big, and
ultimate warrior. That guy is. Yeah.
And to think that it doesn't propagate towards the players in the locker room, the younger guys, you know what I mean? Think about it. He's the last player remaining from that whole Carey Price, PK Subban era. That whole, when him and Galchenyuk started, they were on the line with Lars Eller. They were called the Egg Line at one point. His first career goal was against Marty Brodeur out of all goalies. You know what I mean? Listen, say what you want. Not many of us are talking right now about his contract and all that, except for Joey. But yeah, but you know what I mean? Listen, he's well appreciated, and there's a massive question mark on him in terms of what's going to happen with when he's got a year left on his contract. So there's that whole questions of the buyout and such. He's got a no movement clause, so he can only be traded if he waives it. He can only get sent wherever if he waives it. They could buy him out, but that you add more years of a cap hit, which is maybe $2 million or something for you. You double the years that are remaining on the contract, but nonetheless, not that we have to worry about that right now. But no, this is a bit of a Brendan Gallagher appreciation post.
Yep. I think rightfully deserved, and especially this year, he really brought it. He's still contributing. He still engages and drags the team into battle. So You know what? I've had some harsh words for some of his play in past years. But Brendan Gallagher is Brendan Gallagher. He's been the heart and soul of the team for so many years, and he deserves that recognition at the very least.
Yep, 1,000%. So I think we're gonna end it on that.
Absolutely.
Saturday night. Saturday night is a determining game. What pisses me off, though, I just realized now about the loss against the Red Wings is that Ottawa lost, Columbus lost, Philly lost. Tonight was one of those nights where if they had the point, they could have been tied with Boston for the third spot in the division. Like you know what I mean? Like to think we could have been up there with the Leafs and the Florida Panthers, but listen, they're not out of they're not out of it yet. The teams above them are not out of the woods yet either. Like there's still tons of hockey to go, and you know what? I still believe. I believe in this team. I believe they could. You know what? I'm going to end it on this. Like I'm so happy with the way they've been battling. Like, yeah, I mentioned at the beginning of this episode, like I want to see them grab leads early on and maintain them. But I cannot hide the excitement I have of watching these kids come back and fight for those 2 points. And I'm extremely happy the way they've been doing it. That to the point where, like, listen, I truly believe they are where they're supposed to be right now. And if they stay this way till the end of the season, to the point where they miss a wild card spot by a point or 2 or 3, 4, whatever, I'm still going to be happy and proud of this team because I saw the progression that I wanted to see from the start of the season. The season didn't start the way we all wanted it, but it's going the way we all hoped it would, and let's keep this going.
Yeah, we're very fortunate to be where we are, and don't forget, in this rebuild, we were supposed to see a step forward. We saw, I think, 2 to 3 steps forward, and you know this fan base is daydreaming, dreaming about the years to come. So
we're daydreaming of a full crowded Bell Center for the playoffs.
Full crowded Bell Center, and again, just for whoever hasn't seen, do yourself the biggest favor that'll make your week hot in terms of hockey satisfaction. Go watch Ivan Demidov's. Look, Ivan Demidov's goals have been like half of them have been highlight reel goals. Number 2, he's on pace to shatter the record of points put up by a 19-year-old in the KHL. That includes Mishkov, that includes Kaprizov, that includes some of the biggest names in hockey. And all that to say, his ice time has been nearly 2/3, if not half, of what those guys were getting. This kid is special. This kid is going to be, I think, what Lane Hudson has been doing for this team, I think he's going to be doing even more just on the offense, up as a forward. We have no idea what's to come. Like these steps that we've taken, plus an Ivan Demidov coming in, plus a Michael Hage, who seems to be fucking one of the biggest steals of the draft as well. Oh, man. Dare to dream, folks. Dare to dream.
I'm going to say this. Ivan Demidov is going to be the Montreal Canadiens version of Pavel Bure. And there we go, folks.
Good night.
Good night. Yeah, we'll call it a night for real. But thanks for tuning in. Glad you all could make it. Thanks again for listening to our episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Please subscribe to those if you have those. If you watch us on YouTube, thanks again for tuning in. Like and subscribe. It's absolutely free. Share this with your friends. Tell your friends about us. Help us grow this Montreal Canadiens fan base and community. Together, we shall believe. We're gonna see this team make the playoffs. I'm telling you, it's gonna be one heck of a ride. Chris, thanks a million for doing this. Sorry, I forgot to mention Apple. I didn't mention Apple Podcasts. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. We're very active on those. Come join and be part of conversations there that we have. It's still a fun time to be a Habs fan. I'm not going to lie. It's exciting times to be an NHL fan too. But we'll see you guys on the weekend. Chris, thanks a million. Hopefully we create a live post-game show on YouTube and Twitter Saturday night versus the New Jersey Devils. Have a good evening, Chris. Have a good evening, everybody. Until then,
bye now.
Ooh, good night.
Dynasty.